Have you ever poured your trust and sincerity into someone only to be met with doubt and hurt in return? How many times have you silently questioned whether the person before you truly cares, or if they're simply playing a role in your life? Could those kind gestures and sweet words be nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion, hiding personal agendas? Deception in relationships doesn't just wound the heart, it erodes our trust in others and, more painfully, in ourselves. You may want to believe that those close to you have good intentions, but over time, small actions, insincere words, and half-truths begin to reveal everything. So, how can we protect ourselves from falling into a cycle of doubt? How do we maintain inner peace when we sense someone's insincerity? In this video, we'll uncover 7 clear signs that someone isn't being genuine with you. More than just recognizing others, these lessons will guide you on a deeper journey, one that strengthens your mind and fortifies your heart against negativity. Before we begin, here's a small challenge for you. Watch until the end and see how many of these signs you've encountered in your own relationships. Let's begin. Lesson number 1. They're never there. When you need them, deception in friendships doesn't just hurt. It erodes our ability to trust, not just in others, but in ourselves. I once had a friend I believed would always be there for me. Whenever she needed help, I was the first to show up, offering my full support. But when I was struggling, drowning in work, exhausted and desperate for someone to just listen, I learned the painful truth. I called her, hoping for even a few comforting words. Instead, I got excuses. She was busy. She'd call back later. But that call never came. That was the moment I realized. This friendship only held value when I was the one doing the giving. Another time, I faced financial hardship and needed a small loan. Nothing unreasonable, just a favor from someone who had often promised to support me. But when I reached out, she suddenly had countless excuses, even though I knew she was more than capable of helping. It was a hard but necessary lesson. I saw that the kindness I had extended so many times had never truly been reciprocated. This friendship was a one-way street. People like this always have justifications for their absence. They're too busy, they're dealing with personal matters, but the truth is, these are just excuses to mask their selfishness and lack of sincerity. A real friend doesn't create stories to avoid you when things get tough. Even if their own life isn't perfect, they'll still show up even if just to listen. Stoicism teaches us an important lesson. Don't place your happiness in things beyond your control. Don't rely too heavily on anyone's presence, because in the end, you must learn to stand strong on your own. When you recognize that someone only comes around when there's something in it for them, don't feel hurt or betrayed. See it as a lesson in protecting your heart, in setting boundaries, and in choosing wisely who you allow into your life. True friendship doesn't disappear in difficult times. It's not based on convenience. It's built on mutual love, respect, and sincerity. That doesn't mean you have to cut these people off completely, but it's wise to keep a distance that protects your inner peace and strength. Sometimes, walking away isn't about being cold or unforgiving. It's about loving yourself enough to surround yourself with people who genuinely care. Choose wisely. True friends will stand by you, even when there's nothing in it for them. 2, they never reach out to you. First, have you ever felt like you're the only one keeping a relationship alive? Like you're the one constantly reaching out, checking in and making plans, while the other person only responds when it's convenient. For them, it's a painful realization, one that can leave you feeling unappreciated and drained. You may tell yourself that this person cares, that they're just busy, but over time, small actions, insincere words, and half-truths start to reveal the truth. A true connection is built on mutual effort. When someone truly values you, they won't wait for you to always be the one to reach out. Now, imagine a friend who only calls when they need something from you. Does that sound like a relationship based on genuine care? Probably not, because real friendships aren't one-sided. They're a balance of giving and receiving. So ask yourself, if I stopped reaching out, would this person try to maintain our connection? Step back, observe. If they truly care, they'll notice your absence and make an effort to reconnect. If they don't, you already have your answer. Stoicism teaches us that expectation is the root of disappointment. When we stop expecting others to act a certain way, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. If someone never makes an effort to reach out, it may mean they don't prioritize you, or perhaps they simply don't know how to show it. Either way, as a Stoic, you don't need to judge or react negatively. Instead, focus on building inner strength, understanding, and acceptance. Redirect your energy toward relationships that offer genuine reciprocity, where both people are willing to give and receive. Because in the end, the most important thing isn't whether others make an effort for you, it's whether you are strong enough not to rely on their attention. That is the Stoic way, living with strength, calm, and resilience. They only focus on themselves. Have you ever been in a conversation that felt completely one-sided, where the other person dominates the discussion and you barely get a chance to share anything about yourself? When dealing with insincere people, you quickly realize that you're just the audience in their personal monologue. They see every interaction, adds an opportunity to talk about their achievements, problems, and experiences, leaving you as nothing more than a passive listener. This isn't just selfish behavior, it's a clear sign of insincerity. When someone consistently disregards your thoughts and feelings, it shows they don't truly value your presence. Imagine a colleague who constantly brags about their latest projects, exotic vacations, or impressive social connections. But the moment you try to share something about yourself, they steer the conversation right back to them. Every attempt at connection feels empty, as if your words are falling on deaf ears. I once had a friend like that. Every time we met, it was the same routine, stories about themselves with no interest in what I had to say. At first, I tried to be understanding, thinking they just needed someone to listen. But over time, I realized that my efforts to share were met with indifference. That's when it became clear. This relationship was one-sided, and they didn't truly see my value. Self-centered people crave validation. They don't view conversations as a way to connect, but as a stage for their own ego. If you try to open up about your struggles instead of offering support, they'll quickly redirect the discussion back to themselves. It leaves you feeling unheard, as if your words vanish into an echo chamber. At some point, you come to understand that this person isn't really a friend. They don't intend to share your burdens, only their own. It's not just that they refuse to listen, they actively dismiss your feelings. They lack the emotional sensitivity to understand others and rarely offer genuine encouragement. Have you ever shared something meaningful, only to have them downplay it or ignore it entirely? That detachment speaks volumes. A true friend wouldn't make you feel like a burden. They would listen, validate your feelings, and show respect, even if they had no advice to offer. So what do you do when you encounter someone like this? Instead of feeling frustrated or hurt, recognize that their behavior is a reflection of their immaturity, not your worth. You don't have to respond with negativity. Instead, keep a healthy distance and understand that they won't bring positive value to your life. You have the right to choose relationships that are meaningful and fulfilling. You are under no obligation to tolerate selfishness. Rather than getting caught in these one-sided conversations, focus on surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care about you. Keeping your distance doesn't mean holding resentment. It simply means protecting your energy from unnecessary negativity. Prioritize connections that uplift and support you, because those are the relationships that truly matter. 4. They forget what you talk about. Have you ever shared something deeply personal, an important life event, a cherished dream, only to realize the person listening didn't retain a single detail? Maybe when you bring it up again, they stare at you blankly, having no recollection of the conversation. This isn't just forgetfulness. It's a sign that they never truly valued what you shared or saw you as a meaningful part of their life. We all long for connection, for people who not only hear us but remember us. Because remembering isn't just about memory, it's a true expression of care. I also had a moment like this with someone I considered a close friend. I excitedly told them about a course I had been looking forward to for a long time. It was a milestone for me, something I had spent months preparing for. Over coffee, I poured my heart out, sharing my hopes, goals, and dreams. I believed the conversation would bring us closer. But the next time we met, not a single mention of it. No, how's that course going? No curiosity about my progress. Nothing. It was as if I had never spoken about it at all. That's when it hit me. If they truly cared, even the smallest follow-up would have meant something. Instead, their silence revealed the truth. I wasn't a priority in their life. In contrast, I thought about another friend, one who did remember. Someone who always asked about even the smallest things I mentioned before, a new restaurant I wanted to try, a family trip I had planned. To others, these details might seem trivial, but to me, they meant everything. Because they showed that she listened, not just with her ears, but with her heart. True relationships are built on genuine interest, not obligation. Remembering isn't a chore, it's the natural result of caring. After that experience, I began re-evaluating my relationships. Was it worth holding on to connections where the other person wasn't really listening? The answer became clear. No. Letting go of superficial relationships isn't about being cold. It's about making space for people who truly value you. Since then, I've cherished the friends who genuinely care, the ones who remember my stories, ask thoughtful questions, and listen with intention. These friends are rare, but they are priceless. Because life is richer when surrounded by people who don't just show up when it's convenient, but who truly see and respect us in moments of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. They always want something from you. Have you ever had a relationship where every conversation, every kind gesture seemed to come with strings attached? At first, they appear to be a caring friend, asking about your life, showing support, even standing by you during tough times. But look a little closer, and you realize it's all in service of their own interests. These people aren't truly invested in you. They're invested in what they can get from you. They ask about your life, not to understand you, but to see what they can exploit. Maybe you've had a friend who always inquired about your job or financial situation, yet when you faced difficulties, they were nowhere to be found. Their concern was never about you. It was about what you could offer them. Unfortunately, relationships like these are far too common. Some people only stick around during easy times, but vanish when you truly need them. They aren't there to share in your happiness or your struggles. They're only there to take. Stoicism teaches us to recognize these kinds of people, to stay calm and not let their selfishness wound us. Imagine a friend who constantly turns to you for advice and support. At first you feel valued, believing your words matter. But over time, you start noticing a pattern. When you need to talk, when you need support, they suddenly become too busy, uninterested, or dismissive. Marcus Aurelius spoke about the importance of understanding people's motives. When you recognize that someone only wants to take more than they give, the best response isn't anger, it's distance. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It simply means knowing when a relationship no longer serves you. When you stop allowing one-sided connections to drain your energy, you create space for people who truly value you, not just for what you can give, but for who you are. In 6, they talk behind your back few. Things are more painful than discovering that someone you trusted has been speaking negatively about you behind your back. The sting of betrayal is real, but how you respond to it determines whether it shakes you or strengthens you. In Stoicism, facing this kind of disloyalty requires a clear mind and a resilient heart. Instead of letting others' words disrupt your inner peace, you learn to recognize them for what they are, mere noise, a reflection of their character, not yours. Often, there's no direct proof when someone is talking behind your back. But you feel it. A shift in their behavior, a forced smile, a dismissive tone, subtle passive-aggressive gestures. It's as if an invisible thread of tension forms between you. They may still exchange polite words, but their sincerity is gone. Take Linda, for example. She once had a colleague she deeply trusted. She shared her small victories at work, expecting encouragement. But soon, she noticed a change. Her colleagues' smiles seemed hollow. Whenever she spoke about her achievements, they were met with downplaying remarks like, "Oh, that's not really a big deal." Eventually, Linda found out that this colleague had been speaking poorly about her to others, belittling her successes to boost their own image. Linda could have confronted them, fueled by anger or disappointment, but instead she chose a different path. She created distance, focused on her work, and refused to let the negativity consume her. That's the essence of Stoicism. You cannot control what others say, but you can control how you let it affect you. People who gossip often reveal themselves through passive-aggressive comments, subtle jabs, or attempts to plant seeds of self-doubt. They might say things like, "Oh, it's really nothing major, right?" Undermining your achievements while pretending to be supportive. But a stoic person doesn't let these remarks diminish their worth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's not the words of others that harm us, but our perception of them. If you allow gossip to consume your thoughts, you're handing over your peace to people who don't deserve that power. Instead, let their words pass through you unaffected. When betrayed, it's easy to fall into a cycle of frustration and negativity. But ask yourself, does this really matter? Do their words change who I am? The answer is always no. Those who speak ill of you are often driven by jealousy or insecurity, their own struggles, not yours. Instead of getting caught up in their negativity, channel your energy into your growth, your goals, and your peace of mind. Stoicism doesn't tell us to cut off everyone who speaks poorly about us. It teaches us to remain grounded, self-assured, and unshaken. No matter what someone says behind your back, their words do not define you. By staying calm, focused, and confident in who you are, you rise above the trivialities of life, stronger, wiser, and untouchable. At 7, they act differently with different people. One of the most unsettling realizations in life is discovering that someone you trust is not as genuine as they seem. They shift their behavior, values, and attitudes depending on who they're with, revealing a lack of sincerity and integrity. For those who embrace Stoicism, recognizing this behavior isn't just a lesson, it's a challenge. It requires maintaining clarity, staying calm, and understanding that such people are not worthy of your trust. People like this adjust their personalities to match the environment they're in. Around those with influence, they become friendly, charismatic, and engaged. But when there's nothing to gain, their enthusiasm fades, and their true colors begin to show. Imagine having a friend who seems supportive and present when things are going well, only to become distant when you face a setback, such as losing a job or going through financial struggles. That was Daniel's experience. Once a highly successful professional, he was surrounded by friends and colleagues who admired him. But the moment he lost his status, those same people began to disappear. The warm smiles, the encouragement, the constant invitations, all gone. Excuses replaced their once eager conversations, and suddenly they had no time for him. It became clear they weren't his friends. They were merely benefiting from his success. And now that he was no longer useful to them, they had moved on, seeking new connections to climb even higher. This is the reality of people who act differently, depending on their surroundings. They build relationships, not out of sincerity, but out of self-interest. They seek out those who can elevate them, and when that usefulness fades, so does their loyalty. Marcus Aurelius once taught that true worth lies in honesty and living in harmony with one's nature, not in fleeting changes made for temporary gain. So ask yourself, if someone's behavior shifts when wealthier or more influential people are around, do they truly respect you? If you lost your status or success tomorrow, would they stand by you, or would they drift away in search of more valuable connections? Recognizing insincerity isn't about doubting everyone. It's about focusing on the relationships that truly matter. Stoicism teaches us not to rely on the fleeting emotions of others, but to keep our spirit steady and undisturbed by superficiality. By mastering our emotions, we prevent two-faced individuals from affecting our inner peace. We build a core founded on strength, self-respect, and an unshakable dedication to genuine values. If this video has resonated with you, give it a like and share it with someone who might need this insight. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more lessons on Stoicism, helping you cultivate a life of strength and tranquility. And if you've made it this far, leave a comment saying, "I've uncovered a fake friend," so I can congratulate you on this powerful realization. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.